of NFL football, by the way, which
Monster.
started on Thursday. So we'll go back to Thursday and recap and give you that score from that slow walking,
Green Bay game.
boring
Chicago.
snooze fest game
Mm-hmm.
to kick off the season. Chicago falls at home to Green Bay, 10-3. And like I said, I was not into that game at all.
I went to sleep.
That game was one that it was not up to par for. I mean, I understand the hype, the rivalry, the long-standing rivalry, the longest-standing rivalry in the NFL. Put that game on for the 100 season. I understand all the media savvy and advertising and everything behind that.
Right.
Just wish it had been a better played game. It was just slow from the very start. I was uninterested before halftime. I stopped watching it,
Yeah, about to ask you
and
that.
then because of waiting so long for football,
Mm-hmm.
I tried to give him a second chance in the second half. Still couldn't do it, so I
Turned it
just
off.
turned it off. So we have scores from Sunday,
Right.
yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee wallops Cleveland 43-13. We will definitely talk a little bit about that game. Baltimore 59, Miami 10.
Terrible.
Atlanta 12, Minnesota 28.
Mm.
The Jets fall by 1 point to the Buffalo Bills at home,
Good game.
16-17. Washington comes into Philadelphia, loses finally 27-32. The Rams defeat the Carolina Panthers 30-27.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City picks up where they left off, defeating Jacksonville. We'll talk a little bit about that game as well. 40-26. Indianapolis and the Chargers go into overtime. The Chargers outcome outlast the Colts and win that game 30-24.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle, Cincinnati, 1 point game again. Seattle wins that 21-20. The Dallas Cowboys steamroll the Giants 35-17. I may get to a little bit of that game because there's some things I want to talk about that game as well.
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco 31, Tampa Bay 17.
Right.
Pittsburgh 3, New England 33.
Terrible.
Those are your scores from yesterday. And again, I don't get it. Let's go. Let's take a game. Let's go to that first game that I said we would talk about. The Tennessee Cleveland game. Tennessee Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
43 to
Overhyped Browns.
13.
Told everybody.
Here's what I think.
I'll let you chime
You
in.
say overtime. You think they're overrated on paper. I
Yeah.
don't think they're overrated.
Overhyped, put it out.
Overhyped. I don't think they're overhyped. I
That's it.
think they overlooked the Tennessee Titans. Just like Delaney Walker said, I don't care what you say on
Right,
paper, what
right.
you guys talk about, and you can crown them whatever. Still got to come and play
They are
football.
who they are.
Still got to come and play football.
Right.
And they did not come to play football.
Right.
Their offensive line was horrible. They have a minor injury to the throwing hand and the throwing wrist of Baker Mayfield.
What, you heard? I ain't heard.
Not really. It's a minor, just not really an injury or anything.
Mhm.
It's
I like
a little,
being-
got a little dinged up,
Right.
whatever. But I think they just overlooked the Titans.
I don't know why.
I think they overlooked the Titans. I think they let their roster go to their heads
Mm-hmm.
a little bit.
The media piping them up.
Their discipline. I looked at clips of that game this morning before I came here.
Mm-hmm.
Their discipline on both sides of the ball was bad, and that's, in my opinion, that comes down to professionalism and coaching. I don't like Delaney Walker again. Like Delaney Walker said, and I'll probably reference this a lot today. He said, "You still, no matter what, whoever says what, they can say you're the crown or whatever, this, that, and
Punching
the
them
third.
out, boy.
You still got to come and play the game.
Yeah.
You still have to play the game.
Right.
So, again, I think they will bounce back.
You got the Jets next week.
I think it doesn't matter who they are. I think they're going to bounce back, even if they don't win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying bounce back, but when I'm saying that, I mean I think they're going to have a better showing. I have to look at it, see what goes on when we get to week 2 with our picks and see who I'll pick for that game.
I'll probably
But
put it down.
I think that they will have a better showing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and in a lot of ways,
Mm-hmm.
this is the coach coming out of me. A lot of ways, it's a small silver lining in this loss.
Right.
Because
Wake up call.
because they got punched in the mouth a couple times or consistently,
They didn't know what to do.
and it is one of those things where this could help them a whole lot.
Right.
Where it lets them know that, like Delaney Walker says, and like I said, I'm probably going to reference it a lot, so you'll probably hear it a lot. You still have to go play the game.
That's right.
No matter what you think, the confidence level that you have in your team, your teammates, the talent level that you think may be more superior or better than your opponent,
X and O's.
doesn't matter. You still have to go out there and play the game. You have to execute. You have to have your discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what Tennessee had. They went in with the mind frame, you know, knowing and seeing Baker Mayfield play last year. And like I said, I always tell people, you know, people have great seasons like their first season or whatever.
One hit wonders.
Now, once you get tape on them,
That's
things
it.
change.
That's right.
And one of the things that a lot of the Titans defenders said was the fact that they had a feel for Baker Mayfield, knowing that he was a gunslinger, knowing that certain points of games, certain situations, he's going to try to make that play, no matter what.
Like Brett Favre.
So they played him to that, and it worked for them that game. And you know, like I said, once they go back and they watch tape. And they listen to the coach, talk to the coaching staff, and see what went on. I think they'll have like I said, I'm not definitely saying that they're just going to bounce back automatically with a win because of the way they lost.
They might go 1-10.
No, I'm not saying that. I still think that they will just have a better showing, and that's right now, this early in the game in the season. That's one of the things on the list as far as moving on to your next week. That I think is imperative, and it should be at the top of the list. How we perform, whether win, lose, or draw.
All teams. Win,
lose, or draw. How, especially if you had a game like you had opening the season at home, you have to play better. You have to focus on playing better, and along with, you know, the game plan for your next opponent, along with cleaning things up that you need to clean up. But I think performing better, like I said, should be at the top of the list. Aside from we got to get a win and all that. Like I said, it's week 1. You got 15 games left. Anything can happen. So it's not a lost season, but it is a wake-up call. Definitely a wake-up call for that Browns team. And, you know, you mentioned briefly, Frank, about the hype and things. I don't, you know me, I don't get into the hype. It is what it is. I got to see it. You know, you can tell me this and this and this and that, and
you get on me about Jimmy G,
doesn't matter to me. I have to see it, and I'll make my own interpretation. I'm not going to go with
media,
everybody saying, "Oh, well, this like you know." I see it just like you see it. I could say the same things, but if I say the same things that everybody's saying,
we be rich.
No,
not rich, but
if I say the same thing that everybody's saying,
there's nothing else to say.
There would really virtually be no point for me being here.
Right.
So, you know, like I said, I take everything that I hear and I see with a grain of salt, and I put my own spin on it. And I own up to what I put on. So, like I said, just to conclude with this Cleveland Browns Tennessee Titans game, you know, Cleveland Brown fans, you still have a good team. I still think they're a good team. I still think Baker Mayfield is a good quarterback. Like I said, you know what you have to do, and this is basically for every team that lost yesterday. Your mind frame going into next week, week 2, is clean up what we need to clean up.
Even the ones that won.
And depending on what your show was, and we're just talking about the team that lost. Depending on how you showed, performing better should be at the top of that list. Alongside with, and I'm not saying don't lose sight of the fact that you might need to get a win, to get in the win column, to get your rhythm, to get some morale for the team. Not so much scared, but to change the morale of the team. They lost. Depending on how you lost, you need to get a win. Feel like you need to get a win. You have some urgency and get some confidence in your players.
Coaching staff,
but also, again, and I can't stress this enough. Performing, if you lost yesterday, performing better should be at the top of your list somewhere down the line. So we are live on Facebook.
Yes,
like I said, shout outs to Baldy,
What's up,
our
Baldy?
partner who is tuned in.
Yes, he is.
Tom Brady. What's up, Tom? Good looking out. Appreciate y'all tuning in. My guy from Jersey, Mark Ricci, tuning in. Stay
Right.
tuned, folks. We got more to come.
Mm.
So, we're going to move on. I want to get to this Baltimore-Miami game
Oh, my God.
a little bit real quick. And, folks, phone lines are open. 267-368-5328 is the number. If I don't answer your call, call right back,
Ain't personal.
and we'll pick it up. It's nothing personal.
No.
I may be in a thought or something, so
Yeah.
we will deal with you. We will
We're
get
working.
your calls
Mhm.
and take them as we
Yes,
come
sir.
across them. So, Miami falls 59 to 10. And if you were tuned in to our intro or to my intro
Right.
to the show today,
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned some things. If you were tuned in to our scores, news, and updates, I
Mhm.
also mentioned something in there too as well.
Right.
And what I mentioned in the updates was it's been reported that some Miami Dolphins players have contacted their agents and want to be out of Miami ASAP.
Mm-hmm.
It's also been reported that there are rumors floating around the league that Miami is in a tanking mode. So
Right.
here you have it. Tanking has went
Already
from the
from 1
NBA
To the
moved
NFL.
into the NFL.
Really?
One weekend, and like I said,
That's what we
these
doing
are
now.
rumors. These are things that I've heard, and this game was something.
Lamar Jackson.
It was very, very good, very well served for the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson.
Like Johnny Nice.
You know,
Mm.
one of the things that I was happy for was the fact that he threw.
How many yards is this one?
He
400?
threw 5 touchdowns and was accountable for 5 touchdowns.
Five?
Passing
Okay.
touchdowns. Which says to me that
He's flinging it.
he's settled into that offense. He has confidence in being an NFL quarterback,
Good.
being able to use his arm. The coaching staff has confidence in him now,
Mm-hmm.
being able to use his arm.
Right.
Now, unfortunately for me,
Mm-hmm.
I have to see him again.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just due to the fact that the play of Miami was not, in my opinion, yesterday, not equivalent of an NFL or professional football team.
Mm-hmm.
So, not taking anything away from what they did or what he did, but in this situation, I need to see him again, see how he bounces, see how he plays in week 2.
Yeah.
You know, to see how I feel about
Mm-hmm.
totally about this win, about his performance.
I see it coming.
It was the biggest win margin in the NFL opening day since like 1989.
Wow.
I read, and again, like I said, kudos to him because everyone in the media was writing him off as possibly becoming a average or mediocre quarterback in the league
Right.
because his premise, as they thought,
Right.
was all his legs. He could throw the ball a little bit, but they were all saying that his backbone, his super strength,
Getting away
was
with the legs.
his escapability, his legs. So again, like I said, I'm glad
Mhm.
that he threw those 5 touchdowns
Mhm.
yesterday
Quiet
and
up a
opened it
little
up. But again, all due respect,
Yeah, see it
and
again.
this is just me,
Mm-hmm.
I have to see him again because, like I said, the Miami Dolphins
Stink.
did not show like a professional football team yesterday. Hence the fact that the rumors are that guys got on the phone immediately after that game and, you know, are trying to get traded out of there after week 1.
That's crazy.
And, you know, it's sad
Mhm.
that this is being rumored and this is coming out. And there's probably a little bit of truth to it.
Mhm.
But this game that you went into yesterday,
Mhm.
it's 53-man roster.
Right.
These are guys that have been with you for like a month now
Mhm.
in training camp. If you had known this type of performance was going to be put on the field or be shown on the field,
Right.
I don't know what would have happened in training camp. I don't know what happened in training camp, but
Mhm.
it's just hard to believe
Mhm.
that that game played out the way it played out.
Should've been
It
closer.
was almost like schoolyard football where the guys that play together all the time ended up being picked for the same team.
Excuse me.
It was lopsided,
Mm-hmm.
very lopsided, and it was very, very easy for Lamar Jackson,
Yeah.
which
You're like
I
Johnny
think
and Ice.
which I think could be a bit of a, I don't know, a bit of a confidence shaker.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say shaker, I had a loss for words, and I went with confidence shaker, and I mean that by saying, and I mean that, what I mean in saying that is, it could be good, it could be bad for
Yeah.
him. It could be good in the way that the Dolphins played and made him feel comfortable
Right.
with an NFL game.
It could be bad.
It could also be bad
Might be.
because of the performance. It could go to his head, and he could think that he could do that
Every week.
again or every week.
And that's not gonna be
So
bad,
let's hope that he stays grounded
Mhm.
and understands what's going on and
Right.
stays humble. His coaching staff also has to stay on top of him
Yep.
and make sure that he stays grounded, because now that game is over with. You set records, all fine and well, but that
Mhm.
game is over with.
Mhm.
There's nothing you can do about that game to change it now,
Mhm.
for the better or the worse.
That's what you're coming out
So now you got to forget that. Like, you got to have short-term memory.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what we say about all these
Quarterback.
professional athletes.
Mhm.
Game to game, you have to have short-term memory. So
Mhm.
with that, you know, Lamar, you got to have the short-term memory. You have to now focus on
What they play
the
next? I think my boys got like 3
the Ravens have the Arizona Cardinals coming in to Baltimore.
That's a win.
So, you know, like
Two
I
and out.
said, the way the schedule is looking,
Yeah. 2
and you go back and they go back and look at film of that Cardinals game,
Yeah. 2
they could very well think again
Right.
that he could have one of those games. But
Maybe.
I tell you, the way that the Cardinals played yesterday,
Yeah, they play 4.
it's not going to be the same as the way it was against Miami.
Right.
They're not going to just lay down and fold.
Fitzgerald and
Yeah, they're not just going to lay down and die. I'm talking about on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
That they're going to play. And they may be out, may have less talent or whatever,
Yeah.
but they're going to play.
Might
They're
come
going to
out
play harder.
16-10.
They're going to play harder than
Mm-hmm.
the Miami Dolphins played
Oh,
yesterday.
yeah. Right.
Now, moving along,
Mm-hmm.
we now have.
Talk about your Eagles.
We're going to get to the Eagles game. We're going to get to the Eagles
Dallas
game
and
in a
Giants.
minute.
Yeah.
Dallas Giants game.
Let's have it. Let's have it.
It's not really much to say about
Dak played
that
good.
game.
Dak played good.
Again,
You know why
he
he's playing
did
good.
play good.
You know why he's playing good, D, right?
And I could care less about him wanting the contract.
Oh,
whatever.
Jerry's
That
gonna write
has-
the check.
That has nothing to do
He's
with
gonna cut that check.
what it was. Yesterday was easy for him as well.
Yes, it was.
The Giants' defense
Stink.
is not good.
Say it again.
The Giants' defense is not good,
Oh,
or
they're terrible.
wasn't good yesterday.
It wasn't good all last
The
year.
offense
For the little
needs
bit.
some tuning.
Barkley was fabulous.
They need some tuning. And you know,
I
I
like
told
Barkley.
some guys that I know that are Giants fans.
Right.
I hate to say it, but for some odd reason, it's going to be tough for them to re-sign him if they don't make any improvements.
Sean Barkley.
Yeah, it's going to be tough
I don't think he's gonna go nowhere.
because
Selling tickets.
selling tickets, but you get into the game to win.
Right.
If things keep going bad
Eli's gone.
with the style of play that he has, with the performances he
He's
has
really hurt.
at that level,
I'm thinking he stays.
I think it's going to be tough
Right.
for them to re-sign him when it comes time
They're gonna take
for a
care.
new contract.
Yeah.
They will definitely have a lot of decisions to make,
Mm-hmm.
and they've got to put some more talent
Nobody gonna stay there.
on their
They-
roster.
Real quick, I'm trying to. Jones, they're gonna. Eli's leaving, and Jones will be there.
Listen, you're not seeing the big picture. It doesn't matter who's at quarterback. If he keeps being the workhorse and they don't win, as a professional athlete,
They're gonna do the same thing
He's
they did
not
with
gonna-
Odell.
they probably won't trade him. Like I said, it's going to be a tough re-sign. He's going to play out his contract,
Right.
definitely.
Right.
Now, if they don't improve, like I'm saying, if they don't improve
I think he stays.
by contract time,
Right.
it's going to be a tough negotiation.
Right.
It's going to be super tough. You know, they're going to have to, as we say, they're going to have to back up the Brinks truck in order for him to
His
stay.
agent gonna want a lot of bread. You think?
They're going to have to back up the Brinks truck in order for
Okay.
him to stay.
We'll see.
Because if you think about it, what's the point? Like I said, what's the point?
Losing
If
every
he's
year.
the star,
Uh huh.
What's the point? And you don't win anything. You never make the playoffs.
Right.
You never win more than 9 games
5
your
games,
careers.
Mm-hmm.
The time that you're there for that first contract. What's the point?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the team isn't showing. If this is hypothetical, all folks, if they don't put any more talent around you as far as on the offensive end,
Mm-hmm.
when then what? You know, what's the point in staying?
I think
After
they're
that,
gonna keep it. They gonna draft.
you
They're
know,
gonna try to get a couple receivers.
But you know,
build that line.
Like I said,
I don't know.
it's gonna be
You're
it's
gonna
gonna
be
be a tough
Right.
It's gonna be a tough sign
Right.
for him. Now, and again, like I said, because of that defense, a lot was easy. Like Dallas scored on 5 straight possessions
They did.
yesterday. But watching some of that game yesterday, it was just too easy. Like I said, the Giants defense is not good right now. It's not.
Terrible.
You know, because I still have questions about Dak. Like I said, he played a great game yesterday. I still have questions about him in the heat of the moment.
How Zeke played?
Zeke played pretty good, but I have questions about Dak
Dak.
in the heat of the moment.
Right.
Okay. So again, I got to see more of him.
Cooper played good.
Mark Cooper, yeah, he played good. He was the main target. So
They got
you know that's it's irrelevant. You know.
Right.
Then the
Jay
Giants,
Jones,
you know, the way the schedule's played out, Cowboys go to Washington next week.
Y'all gonna beat them. Split. That's
Another
Mhm.
another game that will probably be fairly easy
They gonna be at Washington.
for them. I gotta look at the schedule,
Right,
again,
right.
but
Mhm.
they play the Redskins, so
Look at
another
the
game that's
schedule.
gonna probably be fairly easy
2 now.
for them.
Mhm.
But I think Week 7, Eagles at Dallas is gonna be a major game.
Oh yeah, already.
Uh,
I'm watching that
I still think the Eagles will win
game.
the division.
Where the game gonna be?
I'm not sure where that
Okay.
game is going to be,
Right.
but I still think the Eagles will win the division, and I think Dallas will be second in the division. Like I said,
Mm.
I have more faith in Carson Wentz in the heat of the moment than I do in Dak Prescott in the heat of the
They
moment.
talk about that on ESPN. Who's the better quarterback?
I think Carson Wentz is the
I think
better
so. I think so.
quarterback
Yes, he is.
because it showed what he did without a consistent running game when he
Yeah.
played a little bit, and vice versa. Dak showed what he was when they didn't have Zeke for the suspension time.
He is
He
what
was,
he
in a,
is.
he was in a bad way, bad slump when you had to put the ball in his hands and trust his arm to win the game for
Right.
him.
Right.
So we'll see how that plays out. And I'm
Dog
looking
fight.
forward
Mhm.
to that game. Like I said, that's going to be a huge game for both teams
Mhm.
and for that division.
Yeah. I got you on this.
So, San Francisco at Tampa Bay.
yes, sir.
San Francisco wins that game 31-17.
It's
And
getting gray here, man.
it was
defensive. Tell
it
that
was
defense.
a up and down, back and forth game.
I like that defense, man.
The defense saved the game for y'all.
2 pick 6.
The defense saved the game for y'all.
Jimmy G threw that
Again,
pick.
Jimmy G threw a pick 6.
Yep.
He did.
And Sherman got it back.
He got it back, but
Witherspoon.
it shouldn't have been.
We
It shouldn't have been
Right.
that close
Exactly.
the way it was early
4 TDs they brought back,
in
dude.
that game. It shouldn't have been
I
that
was
close
pissed off, man.
early.
Right.
So
Penalties, man. Need to clean
I
that
don't
up.
know. I don't know.
31-17. Cincinnati
that's
gonna come
it.
and play some ball.
I don't know. You know, Cincinnati
Pittsburgh
is
the following
coming in.
week.
Aaron Donald 400 and something yards passing.
I think we're
yesterday.
going to them.
I mean,
we're going to them.
what's his name? Aaron Dalton,
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton,
Yeah.
400 and something yards.
AJ Green. The only
yesterday.
good thing we got, AJ Green is not gonna be there.
So I don't know.
We gotta win that game. We play Pittsburgh.
Cincinnati has a pretty good defense as well. They always have a pretty good defense.
Right.
Question marks for me still with Andy Dalton
Yeah, I don't believe it.
because he'll have games
Sherman
where
gonna
he's
take
great,
him off.
like yesterday, and then he'll have games when you think, why is he even the starting quarterback
I remember
anymore?
you said that too.
So
Mm-hmm.
you know we'll see
Pick 6.
how that plays out.
Mm-hmm.
And again, and they lost yesterday.
They fought.
as
They fought
well,
to Seattle. They
and
fought
they
them.
fought with
They
Seattle.
fought.
So
I like that.
again,
In
it's
Seattle.
going to be
Mhm.
it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough game again for San Fran.
Yeah, we gotta go there.
Going to Cincinnati
It's gonna be tough.
and
I think we're gonna
trying
win.
to get a win
Yeah.
there.
Right.
So you move into the Eagles Washington game.
You a little nervous in the beginning?
No. The Eagles 32-27.
It was down 17.
They were down 17-0. And I went to work yesterday and I saw some people, and you know, one of them was a Raiders fan. Shout out to Mel, Raiders fan.
Raiders fan.
George
Shout out.
Santos, what's up, George?
What's up?
Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, sir.
Talked to a Raiders fan, and he was just like, "Wow, Case Keenum." And I said, I was just like, okay, yeah, Case Keenum, yeah, they making him look good right now.
He
So,
wanna do
but
something
you got to
stupid.
play the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
You have to play the entire game.
Yeah.
And I'm not making any excuses. I have no
One half of football.
intrusion of making excuses. That was one half of football.
Mm-hmm.
The
The Redskins are
defense, I think, again, was somewhat in that same situation that I said about Cleveland.
Right.
Kind of overlooked Washington.
I don't think y'all overlooked them.
Yeah, I think they did because of
I
the
know y'all
secondary.
overlooked-
Secondary, I think they overlooked them
Uh-huh.
because they got young receivers who are not established in the NFL.
Okay.
So I think they overlooked talent,
Sleepwalking.
overlooked the talent,
Mm-hmm.
and played
Down.
to a way where they felt like they would just
We'll come around.
pick up on things immediately.
Right.
And it didn't happen that way.
Mm-hmm.
The lot of zone that they played early in the game hurt them
Deshaun's good.
because they have guys that can run.
Mm-hmm.
So some of those guys ran like right through the zone. They ran past people as far as
Right.
the Redskins receivers
Mm-hmm.
against the Eagles defenders.
Mm-hmm.
So they made adjustments.
Right.
Like I said, one of the things I didn't like
Mm-hmm.
late in that first half when they should have got those 3 points. They went for it on 4th and 2.
Right.
I think it was.
That
Also,
coaching.
that same situation, you should have taken the field goal because you were down.
Doug Peterson.
You were down like
Right.
17-0. You should have taken that field goal
Mm-hmm.
to get you some points, knowing you were getting the ball to start the second half.
Right.
But also, I think they have to find a pattern
Right.
for their running backs. And I say that when they used Jordan Howard, the spurts that they used him, he ran with aggression, he ran with power. In that first series, like I was talking about, when they went for it,
Mm-hmm.
you should have ran him if
Right.
you were going to go for it.
Right.
But all in all, bottom line, I think you should have kicked the field goal. But
So.
you have to pick, and you have to stay with these guys when you use them and they run the way that they run.
Right.
I have no issues with you using Darren Sproles, Miles Sanders. Great.
I forgot. Yeah, I got
Great.
Yeah.
Good way to switch up, keep the defense off balance. But certain moments, like those 5-6 runs that Jordan Howard had where he ran with aggression, he ran with power,
Mm-hmm.
and then he got to a certain point and then they switched them up. I get that,
Right.
but when you get to the red zone and Jordan Howard's running like that, got you to the red zone,
Give it to him again.
you got to keep him in there and let him run in the red zone. That's going to help you with your bigger weapons as
Down
far as
low.
your big receivers and
in the
Alshon
playoffs.
and your tight ends and Zach Ertz and Dennis Goddard,
Yeah. Huh?
Dallas Goddard,
Dallas.
you know,
Mhm.
and then the rookie Arthega-Whiteside. You
Right.
got big receivers, but you need that power running in that red zone
Right.
to keep the teams off balance.
Mhm.
So I think they will get to that.
Later
And,
on.
you know, like I said, it's the first game of the season.
Yeah.
So you do some things and you see what works, and then you know how to incorporate those things and how to extend that incorporation throughout the rest of the season.
It'll get better.
Also, you know, Carson Wentz and the receivers
Mm-hmm.
didn't play any preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Wentz hasn't played in live action since week 10 of last season,
Mm-hmm.
which is a long time. So again, like I said,
We had a
not
good
making
game.
any excuses, but you kind of have to, a guy that hasn't played any live bullets, hasn't played any preseason, you kind of have to give him a little bit of leeway.
Mm-hmm.
He showed up yesterday though
He
in the
played
second
good.
half.
He
The
played
rest, the
good.
whole, the entire team
Mhm.
showed up yesterday in the second half, and I can't say, I won't say that it was like a wake up call with them going down. They just got outplayed
Mm-hmm.
in that first half.
First half.
There's no other questions about it. There's no other way to say it. They just got outplayed. And again, like I mentioned, going back to the Super Bowl year, when I said that now that they've got that Super Bowl, they move into that realm and that tier of teams that win games and know how to win games. Games that they should win, they know how to win, and they found ways to win. It's what they did yesterday.
Yeah.
The defense woke up. The defense made stops when they needed to make stops.
That top top defense.
The defensive line got rolling late in that game, put the pressure on Case Keenum. Another reason why I wasn't worried, because like we said last week, almost similar to when Case Keenum played the Eagles before their Vikings game in the playoffs, they came in with the guns blazing, scored right down the field, scored that one touchdown, and then that was it.
Right.
This time a little bit different.
Right.
They went up 17-0. Confidence was high, but the adjustments made by the better team, the good team, the better team,
At halftime.
couldn't finish it off, couldn't score until late in that game. They got another field goal, made it 20, and they scored again when the game was virtually over. So it's going to be up and down. You know, it's not going to be fun. I think that with that game yesterday, I think they have some rhythm now. I think they will get better as the season progresses.
Dude, that game shows you how y'all season gonna be, you think?
No.
Up and down?
No, I don't think it's going to be up and I don't think it's going to be up and down. Like I said, it's week one.
Yeah, everybody rushed.
You had a lot of these dudes that didn't play. And again, like I said, I'm not using it as an excuse.
Right.
You know, it's just by nature. It's natural. These guys didn't play. So, live bullets.
Right.
You've got some teams that don't have anything to lose. These are games that count now. So, they got stunned a little bit. I said that. I said that yesterday. They got stunned a little bit. You know, they got jumped on. But, like I said, good teams make adjustments, find ways to win games. And that's what they did. So, and, you know, looking at the scores, like I said, Case Keenum still didn't have that bad of a game. He was 30 for 44, 380 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and 33 fantasy points.
Pretty good game.
So he's very, very good. Just backtrack and get into that Lamar Jackson, that Miami game. Lamar Jackson was only 17 of 20, 324 yards, 5 touchdowns, 42 fantasy points. But
he said 42.
He was very efficient. Like I said, 17
to 20.
Doing
it next week.
17 to 20. So again, like I said, the game was very easy for him yesterday, and we will definitely see what happens next week when they play the Jets. Now, we look at, we've been going back and forth, and Carson Wentz, Jimmy G, Carson Wentz, Jimmy G, Carson Wentz.
Jimmy G need to wake
up. Both quarterbacks got the win yesterday, but we're going to run through some stats. Jimmy G, 18 to 27, 166, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, pick 6, 12 fantasy points.
He got to play better, man.
Carson Wentz, 28 to 39, 313 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 30 fantasy points.
He had a better day by far.
Started off slow, but picked it up late in the game.
They both come off injuries too, so
you know
he played a way better game.
It's one of those things where, like I said, Carson has the edge because he's played more.
Yeah.
As far as a starting quarterback, he's played more, so he has a slight edge. He has a little bit more of a comfortability level playing in the NFL. So we will off and on backtrack that and see how these guys perform, you know, week to week, so often in the season. We'll go back to that.
He was zeroed in.
And check and see. Now, moving on, before we take our next break, before we close out this segment, we're going to go through week 2 schedule.
Okay.
Before we get to week 2 schedule, we've got closing out this week.
Thank you.
2 Monday night games as it's been updated to.
The Raiders.
The Houston Texans are in New Orleans to play the Saints at 7:10, and then the Denver Broncos are in Oakland to play the Oakland Raiders.
I got the Denver Broncos.
So we'll have those scores. I will post those scores for you tomorrow, along with week 2's NFL schedule, and I'm going to try to get the schedules up by Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest. As you know, if you're going to participate, picks need to be in by 4 p.m. Thursday, as there are games on Thursdays. So 4 p.m. on Thursday.
Yes, sir.
And please, folks, when I post the schedule, again, go in order of the schedule when you post. It's easier for me to track. We will track all season long, and we will have a prize some kind of prize for the winner,
Right.
with the person with the winning record at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So for everyone that is thinking about tuning in, Mark, George, make sure you guys tune in. Check me tomorrow, social media for that schedule.
Right.
Tiffany Singleton, if you're not tuned in, I will tag you in it. Some more people that usually chime in, get on this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't post his list, but I've got to tally up his scores. But Andre Newman has a head up on everybody
Right.
because he was the only one that gave me picks for week 1. And like I said, I didn't post them because nobody else picked. So he has a head up, a leg up on everyone going forward in the season. I'm not going to jeopardize him for week 1 because he was the only one that put in. So he will get credit. I have to go through the schedule and check his wins and losses, and he will get credit for his wins and losses. So people, you have time to catch up. Frank, you can't win because you part of the show. You can chime in, but
no,
you
we
can't
just do
win.
our paper on the
Yeah,
thing.
but you
whatever.
can't win.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. So we will definitely have that for you. Like I said again, schedules. I'm going to definitely try to stay consistent with it. Get schedules up on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Post everything and let you know again. Picks need to be in by 4 p.m.
Thursday.
on Thursday, which will give you Tuesday, Wednesday, and most of Thursday to go through the schedule and get your picks in.
Right.
And please go in order of the schedule. I will post that in the comments or in the caption on the picture. But please, please post in order of the schedule. That way, like I tell you all the time, it is easier
Mm-hmm.
for me to track your wins and losses and give you an accurate count
Mm-hmm.
of what's coming up or what you have as far as your record. So, week 2,
All right.
Thursday, we got
Who kicking off?
Tampa Bay at Carolina.
Carolina winning that.
I'm
Cam ain't
going with
having
the
that.
Panthers on that game.
Cam, oh Cam.
Yeah, I'm going with the Panthers
I'm going
on
with
that
Cam.
game after coming off a loss.
Oh, where that game? It don't matter.
It's in Carolina
Oh,
after
they're gonna
coming
blow
off a
it.
loss.
Yes.
So,
I've got Panthers. Right
the
there, mouth.
49ers at the Bengals.
You know we gonna win that game.
I'm pushing the envelope.
No,
I'm going with the Bengals
I'm
at
going.
home.
I'm going with the Niners.
I'm going with the Bengals at home.
Overtime game. We gonna win by field goal.
The Chargers at the Lions. I'm
At
going
the
with the
Lions.
Bolts.
Yes,
Chargers.
sir. That defense good, ain't it? Chargers.
Vikings at the Packers.
Oh,
I'm going with the Pack. I'm not.
A-Rod. Yes, I'm
I
going
think
Packers.
Minnesota defense is pretty good. Their offense showed me a little something.
Say Kirk Cousins is
yesterday,
overrated. He's
but
overrated.
We all know who Kirk Cousins is.
Yeah, that's
so I
overrated.
picked the Packers in that
Moving
game.
on.
The Colts at the Titans.
You know the Colts play them tough every year, but I'm going
with
to
the
Titans. I'm going to Titans.
Titans, I think, will win that.
Yeah.
Patriots at the Dolphins. That's
Oh,
a no-brainer. The Patriots.
Pats. Cheaters.
Bills and the Giants.
I'm going with the Bills.
Going with the Giants.
Where's the
It's
game?
in New York. I'm going with the Giants.
Uh,
Bills didn't impress me yesterday. Something about
Yeah, I'm
being
going with the
home.
Giants. Yeah.
Something about being home for the Giants.
Barkley gonna show us behind. Yeah, Barkley gonna show us behind. Yeah.
The Seahawks and the Steelers.
Oh boy, where that game at?
Doesn't matter. It's at Pittsburgh. I'm going with the Steelers.
I'm going to Steelers. Good. You know where I'm going. I can't stand them.
The Cowboys and the Redskins.
Cowgirls.
Cowboys. Cardinals at the Ravens.
Ravens.
I like the Ravens to win that.
Close.
It's not going to be as easy as
Close.
yesterday's game, but I like the Ravens to
Yeah.
win.
Baltimore going.
Jaguars at the Texans.
Texans.
I like the Texans as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
My cousin Maul listening to this. He probably
the
won't.
Raiders at the Chiefs at the Raiders.
Oh please. Next, Chiefs. I don't care where that game is. He knows what I
Chiefs.
am.
Bears and the Broncos.
Where at?
Bears and the Broncos.
At the Denver.
Is in Denver.
Denver.
Mm.
I like Bears defense.
I like the Bears in that
You
game.
do?
Saints at the Rams.
Saints at the Rams. Saints.
I like the Saints. Eagles at the Falcons. I'm going with the Eagles.
Eagles. Tough game though. Again,
I'm still going with the Eagles. The Browns at the Jets next Monday.
that's the game.
I'm picking the Browns.
You picking them? I'm scared.
I'm
If I
picking
pick
the
them
Browns.
again, they lose again. I'm dead.
I'm picking the Browns.
I'll pick them. This is it. I ain't picking them no more.
So there you have it, folks. Those are our picks. Remember, the schedule will go up tomorrow. Get your picks in no later than Wednesday, 4 p.m. It is now 12:04, 4 minutes past
Yes,
the
sir.
lunchtime hour. I hope you enjoyed this segment. Guys that I mentioned, Aaron Baldy, our partner, Tom Brady,
What's up, Ball?
Mark Ricci, George Santos. Thank you all for tuning in.
There you go.
Again, take a quick break. When we come back,
Antonio Brown.
we will be on YouTube Live. We're going to switch it up a little bit.
Telling
We're
you.
going to talk about this Antonio Brown situation and what has been played up, how it has played out up until now.
Mm-hmm.
Some interesting things, information I got yesterday that I'm going to share with you.
Right.
And we'll talk about it. Talk about Antonio Brown on our next segment. You're listening to Sports Rap, Heat 100 Radio. See you on the other side.
Yes, sir. This include the Monday night game too. All this.
Yeah.